Paul, supervisors has a reputation of as one of the leading manufacturers of visors, and I understand that your skills have been called upon by the NHS during the pandemic.
Yeah, we typically produce visors for the likes of shoplifting and riot protection, but we got a call at the start of the pandemic, being declared to help in the fight against an invisible enemy in the form of COVID-19. It's taken us to a whole new world of healthcare PPE.
So tell us about that and what you've been doing.
Well, when the pandemic broke, I received a call from the sourcing manager at Westminster to see if we could help. I set about designing a specialist visor that weekend for the NHS, and I've changed my manufacturing line to accommodate the demand I was expecting, because it was a different type of visor, having to produce a very, very high speed one. So as the COVID-19 pandemic unfolded, we were approached by another supplier to produce PPE for NHS Scotland. And given that there aren't many specialist visor companies in the UK, we were called upon to fulfil the contract to supply NHS Scotland with 1.2 million visors for the PPE equipment that they were manufacturing. We're capable of producing around about 65,000 visors per day. It breaks down that we can produce in excess of one visor per second.
That's a hell of a lot of visors, Paul. So have you had interest from other, say, healthcare organisations or indeed other NHS bodies?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've just like the NHS, we've got other areas where we're trying to offer protection. So we've received a lot of orders from our European customers in various different countries. We're now shipping our visors. So on top of the 1.2 million that we're doing for NHS Scotland, we're pushing out to Denmark, Sweden, Spain, France, Lithuania, Germany, even through to Australia and South Africa.
And what's next for supervisors as we fight the pandemic then?
Well, I've got many friends and colleagues working on the front line for NHS, and as we've unrivaled insight into the specifications needed to provide adequate protection against this invisible airborne threat. So there's a new white paper specifically for COVID-19, but there's also the existing standards that we actually helped to write in 2001, which give a complete package of protection, not just for COVID-19, but as a general overall view of what's to be done. But we have a vast experience in specialist optical equipment, so we understand the importance of any face shield. My concern, that of many in the country working in healthcare situations, is that the current PPE being provided is not fit for purpose. And for dealing with highly infectious COVID-19 patients, it really needs to be. This is outlined clearly in the standards, which we've been involved with since day one, as I said. None of these knocked together prototypes actually compare and would get anywhere near passing these standards.
So you've obviously got some concerns, Paul, about some of the PPE product that's out there and that's being supplied. And indeed, we've heard of many instances of PPE being provided to the NHS and other bodies that then has been rejected. So what are you going to do? Is there anything that you can do to help moving forwards?
Yeah, well, one of the things that prompted me into this was that we made a charitable donation to my local hospital. And some of the feedback that's come back is that what I gave them was actually the best thing that they'd ever received. And what we'd given them really was standard equipment that we make for normal industrial use. So I looked at it and I challenged myself to design the ultimate face shield for use in healthcare. So obviously we produced many different ones, but nothing specific for a healthcare environment. So we actually sat down and we designed our Model X, which is aimed squarely at the healthcare professional within the NHS. The Model X will be ready for market in the coming weeks. We've produced something that's significantly better than anything that I've seen on the market. Our new visor will be BSI accredited. Obviously, the company is too, which is a major step. But the relevant standards and CE marking, and also we'll probably be applying for a patent, and then we'll be ready for market with this product.
That sounds really interesting, Paul. So, so what's next with that then? So obviously you're going to maybe apply for the patent. Where do you see that product being used?
Well, we're working with some large manufacturers and key distributors, because one thing with supervisors, we're an OEM manufacturer, so we don't have a big sales team as such, so we tend to supply through our distribution. So hopefully we're going to be in with some very key distributors for it, and hopefully this will bring the curve down and protect the frontline workers. And we'll use our skills and our materials and our knowledge to really push that forwards. But when it comes to PPE, we like to think we've really got it covered.
That's a nice statement. So, I mean, fantastic congratulations, Paul, for pivoting your business to support frontline health workers. I think it's an amazing example of British manufacturing, an agile company. So congratulations, and look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you, Diana.